Friends, long life, we live happily ever after, as usual, against all the odds. I haven't posted anything for a long time, but today, after talking with a person very close to me, I realized that it's time to do it, because people are scared very much, disoriented. I don't even know how to explain it and how to name it. In a short time, I will try to explain my vision very clearly and intelligibly as far as possible. You can agree with it, you can disagree, it will help someone. One thing, please don't analyze it with the brain. It's just the time when you will pass any information that you pass through your consciousness, it will be false for you. Analyze it with the heart, with the spiritual heart. It's on the right. On the left is an ordinary heart, and on the right is a spiritual heart. So pass any information, not just mine, any information that will come to you at this time through your spiritual heart. And this will be the truly correct answer just for you, because now every soul is realized specifically. If before Jews were here, Christians are here, Muslims are here, and so on. So there was a collective realization, and now there is realization of which concrete soul. It happened since last December. Specifically, since December 24th, we are in a new reality. People cannot realize this. They think now the coronavirus will pass and everything will be as before. Everything will somehow stabilize more or less, but nothing will stabilize. There will be a complete demolition of everything, and this needs to be prepared. Economic system, financial, social, all systems that exist in the world, not in the state, in the world. So you need to be mentally prepared for this, and the one who will be ready for this. Today is the most important indicator, like your height, weight, and so on. These are the indicators we're used to which a person has. So there is an indicator, such an internal indicator of your changes, readiness to accept these changes. Now if you raise this bar up, you will pass all the tests and all these changes very easily and simply, and nothing will affect you. Not a coronavirus, nothing. But I'll just talk about this in the following videos, because I realized that it was time to transfer the knowledge. Do not ask where I got it. It so happened that I possessed them. I just devoted the last 3 years of my life to this. So today, we are in a different reality. So I'll start in order. What is a virus? In general, how does it differ from bacteria and microbes? A virus is an information structure. First of all, an information structure, while bacteria, microbes are just living microorganisms. They can live inside us without causing us any harm, as our microbiome, microflora, I don't know how do you call it. In general, our microbiome is born along with us, gets old and dies with us, so producing only the positive that is in our body. The virus did the same thing before. Before, I mean back in previous civilizations. Now the virus unfortunately plays a destructive role, but it modernizes our DNA if used correctly. So let's start with what is coronavirus? Coronavirus has a lipid structure. What is the lipid membrane? The lipid shell is a fat shell, so we are told, wash your hands with soap and hot water there to wash it all away. Because as soon as the membrane disappears, the virus becomes unviable. It cannot live separately from our cell. So, getting into the body, it is embedded in the nucleus of our cell and begins to multiply by budding. So the question is, why in some people the reproduction occurs in an avalanche-like manner and they survive the disease in the most severe form? Other people do not notice it all, and still others pass this story more or less passively, and reproduction doesn't go like an avalanche. I will tell you not just the secret, but again, this is information and you can agree with it, you can disagree. Once again, I return to the fact that the virus is an information structure. So this virus differs from all previous viruses in that the method of transmission by information means it's approximately 90% of 100%. While if we take the previous viruses, for example, the flu virus, there was about 10% of the information path and 90% airborne droplet. So this virus is exactly the opposite. 90% of it spread by information and only 10% by airborne droplets. I do not urge you not to give a damn about everything and not to observe safety measures. No, great challenges are waiting for us and we need to be prepared for this and take all the precautions. For example, a mask, glasses, gloves. This is enough. We don't need to get to fanaticism. Most importantly, you can wear gloves, masks as much as you like and be infected. If you constantly hang on the internet, listen to all this information, which is coming down like avalanche on us all over the world. I have the impression that they decided to infect the whole world. I do not know if this is happening consciously or unconsciously, it doesn't matter. So what happens when this information enters your body, into your brain specifically? Your brain changes the biochemistry of your body, and in the current energies it all materializes as a specific virus. It is hard for you to believe it, but believe me, it is. Accordingly, the more you load yourself with this negative, the more you listen, the more you will sink into low vibrations. This virus, remember I told you that it propagates by budding? So this is why in some people it reproduces in an avalanche-like manner, in others it's smaller, in others it practically doesn't breed, in particular in children. Why? Because they don't care about this information. It's not important to them. They are open to the world. They are open to change no matter what. They still remember the contract that their soul signed when they came to this world. And now your inner content, not external, comes first. You can defend yourself as much as you want. Everyone will hold the exam. And your exam consists in raising your vibrations, in daily raising your vibrations, in your awareness. If you do not pass the test of awareness, one way or another, I do not want to upset you, but somehow everyone will go away. Why? Because in the current new vibrations, in the current new energies, people cannot live. Because the energies of the Earth are already changed. We're moving from a state of three-dimensionality to multidimensionality. The whole world will be dismantled. We're going to a new reality. Understand this. Open up. Open to these changes. Raise your level of awareness. This is a huge job, believe me. This is work for every day. Every day you should pay attention to increase your vibrations. If you are pulled to the bottom with two hands injecting this information, get away from it. Become an observer and you will see how reality changes around you. Do not immerse yourself in all this. All this will drag you, you will not get out of the swamp. Therefore, more positive emotions. What do you need? What will save you in this changing world? Get ready, there will be big changes before the end of the year. I will explain in detail later. In the fall, we are waiting for the complete collapse of the financial and economic system of the world. Complete. There will be many misfortunes, many bankruptcies, and all this will take place depending on the degree of awareness of each individual person. Do you understand? As Jesus Christ said, according to your faith, it will be given to you. So today you need to work. You need to remember why you came here. There's no time for build-up. They say to me, why did this one get sick there, this one died, this one dies, a friend of a friend, all this doesn't matter. Each soul is at a certain stage of awareness, at a certain stage, I emphasize. And if the soul already understands that in this physical embodiment, through this consciousness, it will not be able to realize what she came here for, she makes the decision to self-liquidate. First of all, these are elderly people who have principles that clearly know how to do it, how not to do it, which in principle do not accept any changes. So they unfortunately first all leave, their souls simply self-destruct because they have nothing more to do here. They go through suffering, through remelting of these, through their departure and the remelting of all the goods that they carry unnecessarily. Because in this particular case, with such vibrations, they are a cancer cell on the body of the universe, on the body of the Earth in this particular case. Therefore, they decide to self-liquidate and start over. So no need to look around. who, what, take care of yourself. I repeat to you once again, the implementation of each individual person is now important. December 24th last year, the preparatory phase ended. We have left collective implementation. You will see the collapse of all religions. You will feel it. Open to these changes. Open your heart. Now, there are already two worlds in parallel. There is a world of multidimensionality where we are going, and there is a three-dimensional world. We are in transition, and it's impossible to build something new without breaking the old. So, there will be nothing that you expect. It will be much better, I can please you, but it will not be soon. We need to survive 3.5, 4 very difficult years. We need to prepare for this. It will be like everything works in the universe. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Now inhalation will end, there will be a short inhalation, then again in the fall a prolonged exhalation will begin. So, as soon as you open up to all this, as soon as you accept it all, you'll specifically experience it in another reality. Maybe everyone will consider me crazy, but I'm just saying what I think. Now if you vibrate like Stanislavski, I believe, then, God forbid, that this would help someone. If you do not believe, then you are not ready yet. Time will tell. So open yourself to change, my advice to you. Open up to everything new. Do not be afraid of anything. Everything superfluous that was in this world, and there was a lot of it, everything unnecessary to you will go away. Not only to you, to each specific person. So, let's go with the open, as they say, visor forward with gratitude. Why gratefully? Because gratitude is that anchor, that, I don't know, the pole that will help you stay in the sea, the ocean of change, in this tsunami of changes that are coming and have already surged on us. Hold on this anchor and give thanks. Thank you that you are alive. Thank you that your loved ones are alive. Thank you that the sun is shining. Thank you for the hot water in the faucet. Thank you for not running around Africa with a spear and for what else I don't know. Thank you for everything, even for the smallest. And if there is anything to thank for more, it's even cooler. It's just that this time was given so that each specific person would sit down and think about why he is grateful to the universe. Not like we used to think, more, we will consume more, we will be even more, even further, even higher. No. Now, you need to look not from the outside in, but from the inside out. One more time, not from the outside in, but from the inside out. That is, your inner content must be synchronized with your outward manifestation. It is time to suppress the excessive needs of the body, which it dictates to us, regardless of how much we need it. What is awareness? Awareness is your harmony between the inner content, that's why your soul came to this world, and the manifestation of your body. And the body is your consciousness. This is what you have gained. The body is not this body, it's here. Here is your consciousness, your experience. All that you have gained, you must synchronize, because half of this, or even 3/4, unfortunately is no longer necessary. So you have to put up with it, drop it and go forward. Therefore, returning to the coronavirus, the first, saturate ourselves with positive emotions. Do not watch any television broadcasts. This time has been given to you in order to look inside yourself, to communicate with people close to you, in order to open your spiritual heart. So, we don't watch the internet. As soon as some things come across on the internet with a link to this virus here, we simply skip them. This is not your story. This is the story of other people, those who choose this path, oddly enough. Because each of us is in the free will zone. It is his intention that implements the scenario that will unfold. Yes, there will be a collective scenario, we must go through this, because we are all parts of the single whole. So, go away from any discussions of any kind. Go away from evaluations. Go away. Accept that you are just a child, you know nothing, you are in the new reality, you study it in the past world. Now a new reality and you know nothing about it. Become a child, open to change. Open your heart and you will feel the change. Be close to your loved ones. Communicate. Give love. Give joy. You know, there's such a state when you watch a movie that catches you, which is a really cool movie and tears come to your eyes involuntarily. This condition is 100%. Now, if you reach such a state, regardless of what it comes through this state, you raise your vibrations to an unprecedented level. Accordingly, when they try to drag you down somewhere, get away from it and strive up. Because your daily work, your daily upward movement will be rewarded. Unprecedented opportunities for mankind are now opening up, and I will talk more about this later in the next videos. All genetic locks have been removed from our DNA. We can realize any opportunities, human superpowers, but we can only do this at the moment when we rise in our vibrations to a certain level. Yes, this is hard work. You need to do this. You need to go to this. Every day do something for your soul. Think about it. Forget about your body. Everything will be fine for everyone. We're entering the golden age of humanity. I wish everyone happiness and health. And summing up, I will say first, more positive. We don't read, we don't watch anything negative, it's not your story, let it pass. This changes the biochemistry of the brain. You think that you are in control of the situation, but you are not. Why did this news flow rush on you? Because it changes your biochemistry of the brain, which materializes this virus. So we're moving away from this. On the contrary, we're saturating ourselves with positive emotions. We're going to the light and not to the darkness. And this is the choice of every person. Maybe someone wants to go into darkness. Well, for God's sake. Therefore, what we see now was always there. Just the light highlighted the changes that are now beginning. And there is no longer any place for darkness. So we all go, friends, to the light for the first. At the same time, we observe safety precautions when we go out, when necessary, if really needed. We go out wearing a mask, gloves and glasses in crowded places, because the virus can also get through the mucous membranes of the eye by airborne droplets. Therefore, we observe precautions, and I assure you that if you exclude 90% of your options for your infection, it is unlikely that you will become infected at all. And even if you become infected, you will pass it simply without even noticing it, like a simple cold. So I wish everyone goodness, love, health, gratitude. I love and hug everyone. Bye.